Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Comrade Detective, a new Amazon series starring Channing Tatum, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and let me see if I can say his name, Nick Offerman. Smash a like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 11. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So this is a weird show. Apparently, they either took an old show and redubbed it and made it hilarious, or they shot an 80s show complete and then redubbed it with a purposely bad script. So it's a little bit like I would compare it to like a Soviet era version of Dolomite. If you've ever seen that, he's got another movie coming out, Michael Jai White. So I think this is the Michael Jai White Cold War version. It's kind of funny. I mean, I get it because, you know, it's 80s stuff and it's Soviet Union stuff and it's kind of over the top. Romania 1983, and it's, you know, crazy over the top action, smoking, dudes shooting each other. Channing Tatum, though, you know, on the one hand, he has been very funny. I thought he was very funny in This Is the End. And I thought, wow, for him to do that bit part towards the end of the movie, I thought was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. But he also was, interestingly enough, the actor in the Coen Brothers movie, the one about old time Hollywood. It's got Josh Brolin's the star. Can't think of the name of it. Hail Caesar, I think. Is that the one? George Clooney's in it. He's the celebrity who's like completely taken in by the communist, and I think he ends up escaping with them in a sub or something. So it's kind of weird that he did that movie and he's doing this movie too. This weird tie into communism with him. So I'm wondering, like, on the one hand, it seems to be tongue in cheek, but is it also not supposed to be tongue in cheek? It's weird. It's a weird era to do this, but I guess maybe they found a real show that was kind of like this and said, oh, this would be fun to do a parody of. A24 doing a TV show. I'll read the description. In the 1980s, millions of Romanians tuned into Comrade Detective, a gritty, sleek buddy cop show that not only entertained its citizens, but also promoted communist ideals and inspired a deep nationalism. Now it's been digitally remastered and dubbed into English for the first time by a cast featuring Channing Tatum and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But it's a joke. It's not a real show, I don't think. Or though it might have been a real show, but you know, in '83, I don't think the Soviets would have had this kind of production. So I think that the whole total fake, and then they went ahead and redubbed it with stars. So it's weird. Is it sustainable? I don't know. There's also some sort of subplot with Channing Tatum being a huge fan of the show, that he watches it and cries, like they send him a tape and then he watches it and cries. Stream August 4th. I mean, it sounds like it would be fun for one episode. I don't see how you could, you know, do an entire season of this. You know, it would have to be very over the top. I don't know. I mean, I guess kudos for trying to do a comedy show. Is it because it's tied into communism? That's the only reason they would greenlight it? Is that the only reason Hollywood would greenlight a comedy? We don't do comedies. Well, this one has communism in it. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Um, yeah, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. On the other hand, though, for Channing Tatum, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Nick Offerman, I mean, it's a walk in the park. They just got to do the voices. Uh, Maybe that's like a couple of weeks, if that, of work. Although Channing seems to be more involved. There's actual scenes with him. I don't know. Would I watch it? I think I would check out the first episode just to see how ridiculous it was. I don't know if I'd watch a second one. It would have to like blow me away to watch a second episode. It would have to be like Police Squad level of comedy, you know? I mean, that's a great little series, but kind of burns itself out by episode 5, or 4. But it's so damn funny, Police Squad. This, I'm not sure if it's that funny, but I might give it a chance. Can't really do a 3-act breakdown. Seems like every episode would, I mean, if they stick to the premise where, like, no matter what happens in the episode, they somehow tie it back into communism and how, you know, how they're saving communism or how communism saves the day. I mean, that could be funny no matter how ridiculous things get. And it's obvious that the communism really isn't, you know, at fault for the good portions. It's just that they just, you know, always stick to that line. I mean, that could be funny. I don't see how you can make a whole series out of it. Maybe like a couple of episodes it'll be funny. After a while, it's got to go kind of off the rails. But, yeah, just kind of coming out of nowhere. I could see this maybe 6 episodes. 6 episodes, and then you wrap it up, and then maybe on to something else. It would be fun to see these guys do this, you know, for a few different shows from different eras in foreign countries where they're forced to dub it and they're not really in it. But it would actually be kind of cool if they took a real show and redubbed it. I don't think there's any way this is a real show because, yeah, the production values are just way too high for 1983. I mean, this is kind of cool. Yeah, no, they shot this specifically and then redubbed it. I kind of wonder what the actual dialogue is. If maybe they're matching it. I guess they would match the dialogue for anybody who would know the languages. Nancy Reagan. The Americans are always portrayed as terrible people, I assume. I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be fun for comedy people and the kids. The kids might like it because of the communism tie-in, I guess. Maybe that's what they're thinking at Amazon. I don't know. They seem to think a lot about communism in media these days. So I'm a little wary. I am a little wary of it, but I mean, it's a comedy show. It's either going to be funny or it's not, right? Either this show is hilarious or it's just a drag and nobody will watch it. You know, it's just too self-aware, too crazy, too meta. I don't know. It's kind of right on the line for me. I got a couple laughs out of it, but I don't really see how they could sustain it. Yeah, if I had to write it, how would I frame it? I guess you'd want to put the Comrade detective characters in a position where they're constantly going after America, but it's obvious that America is better. So I guarantee you one of the episode has to be that Comrade detective goes to America. It has to happen. That would be the easiest way. Like, It would be some sort of weird exchange program that happened in the Cold War that nobody knew about, and that, or that never happened, but the communists wrote a story about it. And they go to America, and it's the Romanians' version of what America's like. And it's just so awful and over the top awful, and he's just over the top awesome. So, I guess that's the best way to do it. I don't know if the Dolomite aspect totally works. I don't think they're going for that. The production value looks too slick. Dolomite, they kind of rough it up a little bit. Like with Dolomite, you see the edges. You see him screw up a line or look the wrong way, or a microphone drops in, or the cut isn't totally clean. This doesn't appear to be that way. I'm kind of leaning towards it probably should. It probably should have like some tracking lines in it every once in a while, because it is 1983. But all right, so Comrade Detective on Amazon. I might watch this thing. Maybe just one. Maybe just one. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble later for our more base takes. I will be at Bordentown Library this Saturday at 2 p.m. for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. We'll see you in the next one.